All right, so I just finished trying for 45 minutes or so to zoom way out, to empathize with everyone from all angles, to gain a real understanding of where everyone's coming from, to really feel the various motivations involved. So I'm feeling really zen on location right now. Like, I got the whole thing figured out. Humanity's problem is its built-in tribal mentality, this us versus them garbage. That if we could just get people to flip on their empathy machines for 5 seconds, we could probably put an end to most of our troubles. And then I turn my phone back on after we're done recording, and I begin getting the text messages. I find out that my mom had just attempted to leave her home on the way to church and was blocked from leaving by a large group of black people, who then became upset that she was trying to pass them. They surrounded her car and at one point actually punched her car. Now, most of you haven't met my mother, so I need to tell you that she's one of the most peaceful, passive, non-aggressive, flight before fight people you've ever met. She actively goes out of her way to avoid even the thought of offending someone, much less out-and-out conflict. So for her to be caught, trapped in her car, surrounded and unable to leave, was very well probably one of the most traumatic things that's ever happened to her in her life. And for me, to get these messages when I'm 4 hours away in another city, unable to help, right at the time of a crescendo in the tension between black people and police in my hometown, after having just spent a lot of mental and emotional energy trying to gain and have an understanding for all of these factions, was very disorienting for me in that moment. I'm sure that some of you out there have experienced a situation in which your mother or immediate family was in danger of being attacked. It is the very definition of an attack on your tribe. The experience bypasses all critical thinking and blows away all barriers holding our more base instincts at bay. I was so angry at them. I was angry at myself for having just spent 45 minutes trying to honestly identify and empathize with them. I had just finished trying to convince the police and BLM and the world to stop lumping everyone in together, to stop this tribal mentality, this us versus them, to start seeing other people as humans equal to themselves. And now this group just attacked me and my tribe, my people, my family. My family had been attacked by Black Lives Matter. All of us talked about it for most of the ride home. I went through life seeing red at anyone even remotely connected to BLM for many days after. It took a long time for me to see that what had happened to me and inside myself, my empathy had been zeroed out, drained away, stolen. In the instant it took to read a text message, all of my high-minded ideas on tribalism and seeing the whole world, seeing the whole picture, just vaporized. The very thing I was criticizing in others had taken me over. I was still unhappy with police in general, but Black Lives Matter? Fuck them. The same demon I was calling for people to excise from themselves had possessed me in that instant that my mother was attacked. BLM's families are being attacked. Fuck the police. The cops' families are being attacked. Fuck Black Lives Matters. I understand. It was weeks later that I finally made this connection. I now knew what everyone feels like for real. And I, at that same moment, saw the problem at its roots. We at some base level group together and collectivize not only our enemies, but also our friends. We spread the sins and the blame and the condemnation and the hatred of one of our enemies to all that we place on their side. But in an equally tragic way, we also spread the good intentions and the innocence and the benevolence that we see in ourselves to all that we place on our side, to our tribe. Our family, friends, fellow police officers, and our race can do no wrong, and our enemies are all the same. The lesson I learned, and am still learning from voluntarism and from anarchy, is that we must all relearn how to interact with each other from our very cores. We are all free-willed, separate, fallible, and flawed individuals. These arbitrary groups are all created and only exist in our heads. You are free of the sins of your father, your family, your fellow cops, and your race. Stop acting like you have to defend others because they have some trait in common with you. And if they're attacked, that's not you getting attacked either. And stop assigning blame to everyone wearing blue costumes or wearing brown skin when one person, a separate individual, does evil. Be an individual.